Welcome, friends. I'm Kate. This is Unwind Yoga, and we are going to unwind, relax, and enjoy just this restful bit for ourselves. So, let's do a little check in first. So, we're going to check in with the body. Notice where you're holding on to any tension and give yourself permission to let that relax. And then we're going to check in with the breath. So just take a moment and see what the breath is up to. If it is going too fast because you're stressed, because the video didn't want to work, just exhale that out. Or if you were in a hurry to get here or whatever, just let it go. All right. Otherwise, we're just going to come to a normal breath, and let's take a couple breaths together before we come into a pose. And we'll do 4 or 5 poses tonight, and just a slow pace, nice and relaxed. All right, so let's start with a little breath, and we're just going to inhale through the nose. Bring the breath down the back body. Exhale up the front of the body and out the nose. Inhale through the nose. Down the back body. Exhale up the front of the body and out the nose. One more. Inhale into the nose. Down the back body. Exhale up the front of the body and out the nose. Beautiful. All right, so I have a bunch of props here. You may not have fancy yoga props. That's okay. You can grab pillows and blankets off the bed or the couch or whatever you need. And you can also do any of the poses without props. So that being said, we're going to start with our first one, which is legs up the wall. So fun fact, you can do legs up the wall without a wall, which is how I'm going to do it. But you're more than welcome to find a wall. You can push your legs up on the couch or a chair. That's an option. Of course, the wall. I have a blanket. You could fold up a blanket and put the hips up on a blanket with the legs up the wall. I'm going to go block tonight because that's what appeals to me. I also have a giant bolster and other blankets. So whatever you have handy that's going to make this pose comfortable for you, I want you to go ahead and gather that, and let's get ready. So we're going to start by coming down onto the flat of the back. And if you want, you can do a couple of apanasanas before we get there. And then if it's a blanket you want to bring under, you can do that. Set that under the palms. Actually, that feels really nice. I think I'm going to go with the blanket instead of the block. It's a little bit softer. So then I'm just going to bring my legs up towards the ceiling, relaxed in the knees, hands down by my sides, and we're just going to relax into this pose. So we'll be here for a few moments. And you can come back to paying attention to the breath, feeling where it comes in at the nostrils, feeling the warmth of the breath as it leaves out through the nostrils. Just letting all of the tension and stress of the day come down to the earth, let gravity do its work. But feel that the rest of the body being supported by the earth. Just know that if you get uncomfortable at any time, or if there's a pose that you don't feel comfortable doing, you can always do something that is restful for you. That can be just sitting quietly, or child's pose, or mountain pose some people like, or down dog. Any kind of pose where you feel supported and rested, you're welcome to come to that. All right, so we're going to come out of this pose slowly and mindfully. So I'm going to bend my knees first and then bring my feet down to the mat. Slide the blanket out of the way. And then in between each pose, we're going to do some movement here tonight. So knees come in, knees go out, and we match the movement with the breath. So this is our exhale breath. This is our inhale breath. So you can leave the hands on the knees, or the hands can slide up and down the thighs. However that is more comfortable for you tonight. And you're welcome to play with how wide the knees are away from each other. If they're a little bit wider out to the side, you might feel a little bit more space in that lower back, or between the back and the floor. That's what I meant to say. All right, so from here, our next pose, we're going to come into a twist. So, always options. That's what we're all about here. So I'm going to do a little bit more of a deep twist. So you can do less of a deep twist, and I will show you different options for that. So the first thing we want to do is bring our arms out to the side in a T. First option is feet together, knees to one side, just as far as is comfortable. Don't have to go all the way. Second option is to bring the knees all the way over to the floor. I happen to have a block right here, so I can rest my knees here. If you don't need that block, you can move it out of the way. And then we're going to be here for a few moments, so make sure you find a comfortable position. And I'm going to recommend palms up, and we want to keep this opposite shoulder on the floor. So we're not coming up like this. We want to keep that shoulder down. And then you have a couple of options with the head. You can look straight up towards the ceiling. You can look the same direction as the knees, or you can look opposite direction of the knees. So again, feel what feels best. Take your time and melt into the pose. And then after you've been here for a while, if you want to add on to it, you can extend that upper leg and maybe grab the toes with the fingers of that upper hand. That's an option. Or just stay where you are and enjoy resting and relaxing and all those restoring words. So we'll take a couple more breaths here on this side. And then when you're ready, we're going to slowly, with the breath, bring the knees back up to center. And then we're going to bring them to the other side. But before you go, you might want to center the spine. And then you can just go over a little bit or towards the floor. You can bring a pillow or blanket or whatever you need under that knee. If you feel the urge, you can extend that top leg. And again, you pick with the gaze straight up towards the ceiling, same direction as the knees, or looking towards the opposite direction. And if you're comfortable, you can close your eyes, of course, or find a place to rest your gaze. That's always welcome. Let's take 3 more breaths here on this side. And then when you're ready, let's bring the knees back up, center the spine, and then we're going to come up and do some cat and cow. So however is comfortable for you to get up, can roll over onto one side and then push up. I'm going to go all the way up quickly. And then coming to hands and knees. So if you have knee issues, you can always bring a blanket under the knees. Give them a little padding. Same thing with the wrists. If you have wrist issues, you can prop them up a little bit, or open up this way so that your hands are further away from your knees. That gives the wrists a little bit more space. And then we're just going to do a few cat and cow. So we'll start with our cat with our exhale, shoulders up towards the ceiling. On the inhale, without dropping the belly, we're going to look up towards the horizon, if that's okay with your neck. And then exhale back, cat and cow. Beautiful. And then for our next pose, we're going to come into our child's pose. So we always have options here, right? I have this big, nice yoga bolster here that I'm going to use to rest on. You could do a couch cushion or a pile of blankets or whatever works, or just come all the way down onto the floor. So since we're doing kind of a relaxing unwind yoga, that's the word I'm looking for, I want it to be a little bit more supported. So that's what we're going to do. All right, so knees can be wide, bring the bolster in close, and then you're just going to roll down, and you can put one cheek on the hands or on the bolster, or the forehead if that's comfortable. And again, just letting the stress of the day roll off the back and let you be lightened. Excellent. All right, let's take 3 more breaths here. And then when you're ready, let's move our props out of the way and come back onto our back. All right, so we're going to do our LOL, sometimes we call it, or UPP. It's basically arms and legs go up and then they come back. All right, so I come onto the back. And if you want, you could even start with just the arms. Inhale, arms up overhead, exhale back. And then bring the knees in. Then the arms are going to go overhead, feet up towards the ceiling. Exhale, bend the knees, hands to knees. Inhale up. Exhale back. And let's do that 2 more times. Inhale. And exhale. Last one. Inhale. And exhale. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right. Next pose is bridge pose. So again, we're all about the options, and we're just going to hold the pose with a prop tonight. So block, blanket, bolster. I'm going to go block this time. And you can go none or any of those options. So just coming up, slide the block under the pelvis. Adjust anything that needs adjusting. Arms down by your sides. Heels and hips and knees are kind of lined up, but we are relaxed. So we want to keep our gaze up towards the ceiling. We're not turning to look at anything in this pose, but we are resting and relaxing. So let's just take a couple of breaths here. Anytime you feel uncomfortable or feel that you need to come out, you're welcome to do so. So let's take our last 3 breaths in this pose. And then let's come out. All right, so we're going to push in with the feet, lift the hips, slide any props out that you have, and then we're going to come down nice and slow. And then let's bring the knees back in. So we're going to do a couple of apanasanas here. Really notice how that spine feels. So we've done forward fold, we've done a back bend, we've done a twist. Got our legs up the wall. So just see how it feels. And then from here, yep, this is our last pose. We're going to come into our Shavasana. I'm going to turn this light off. There we go. So it's a little bit dark, but perhaps your eyes are closed, so you don't need to see what's going on. You're just going to feel it. All right. So we're laying down on our back. I've got all these props here. I don't know what you have at home, but if you have something and you want to use it, you are more than welcome to do so. You can put your legs up on a couch, on a chair, on a cushion, pillows, blankets, whatever feels good to you. I'm actually going to do a blanket under my head with a little roll kind of at the edge for the neck, because that feels very comfortable for me. And then legs, for me, straight out feels fine. For you, you might want to bend your knees and put your feet onto the floor or up on something. You could even end class how we started with your legs up the wall. I prefer flat out, but you find what works best for you. All right, so here we go. We're going to rest and relax in our, what we like to call final relaxation pose, or Shavasana. Legs and feet fall away from each other. Arms can come out and away from the body. Palms up or palms down. Nice big sigh out the mouth. Let it go. So we're just going to go and look at the joints and relax the joints tonight. So that means we're going to start at the toes. Relax the toes. Relax the ankles. Relax the knees. Relax the hip sockets. Not that the spine is technically a joint, but relax the spine. It does a lot of work, right? And relax the shoulders. Relax the elbows. Relax the wrists and fingers. And relax the jaw. Biggest kind of joint we've got, almost. All right. Let the Earth's gravity support you. Let the air around you do the work for your breathing. Let any last thoughts seep out the top of the crown of the head. Take the next few moments and just be. You're welcome to stay in your relaxation pose as long as you need, or brush your teeth and go to bed. You're welcome to do that as well. But when you're ready, you're going to wiggle toes and wiggle fingers. Maybe if you'd like, you can roll your head side to side. When you're ready, you're going to roll over onto your right or left side. And when you're ready, and again with an inhale, pushing up to a comfortable seated position, or as comfortable as sitting on the floor or wherever you are is. So let's take a moment to finish with a breath. And we're just going to do sun breath number 1. So it starts with hands on the knees or on the lap. We're just going to inhale, let the hands float up. On the exhale, hands float back down. Inhale, hands float up. Exhale, hands float back down. Beautiful. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. Excuse me. Hands together in front of the heart and namaste. Thank you for joining me and have a beautiful, restful, restorative evening. Good night.